This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Welcome to another Top Shop Podcast. We got Jon Cabak. He's the co-founder of Detect Auto. We just met him and his partner, Josh Oberlander, at the ASTA conference in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. So, and then I asked them about their company and their business. So I think this is going to be a good podcast. So, Jon, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into this industry and decided on Detect Auto as your niche.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on, Paul. Excited to be here. So we got started with Detect Auto probably about 2.5 years ago or so, and we've kind of been building up to where we're at today. I got into the automotive space about 3 years ago. I was selling fans, actual pedestal fans, door to door to auto repair shops. We had kind of what we thought was a cool product where we had a camera inside of the fan that would always track and point at you. So if you didn't have air conditioning in your shop, you could use our fans and keep your team cool. Wow. So we were selling those door to door. Didn't get a ton of success, but we had a few early people who kind of saw what we were trying to do, thought it was interesting. And we were at the same time trying to figure out how could we expand the performance of our system and provide these shops some analytics. And we basically took the camera system out of the fans, stuck them up on the walls of auto shops, and started tracking what was happening in the repair base of the auto shops. And we did that for a couple years, had some wins, some major failures on our part. And, it was a really great learning experience. And we're still pretty optimistic that system will work maybe in the future. But for today, something that's sitting on the shelf for us right now. But the current thing that we're focused on is preventive maintenance and predictive maintenance and helping shops recommend the appropriate services for their customers. And the way we do that is we take a full comprehensive review of a shop's service history for their customers and integrate that in with other data sources like Carfax, for example. We review the service history there and combine that with the shop's existing maintenance schedule so that we can proactively recommend upcoming services and push that right into the shop's point of sale software. So we've been doing that for a couple months now. I've seen some good early success cases, some nice wins for our customers, and we're looking forward to keep doubling down on that over the next few months here.
Okay, awesome. So how does if someone was to get more information on the services that you're offering, just go to detect auto.com, and
yep.
There's a see how on here. So just click on
Pretty much anything on our website has been stripped down to make it very basic. We help you sell more maintenance services, and my co-founder Josh and I pretty much want to chat with everybody, see what they think about it, and if it makes sense to have them check it out, they click on the see how button, they grab time with one of us, and we see if it works for your shop.
Okay, awesome. So what are are there any other competitors offering what you guys are doing, or is this kind of your own little niche? Or
yeah, there's definitely a few people in the maintenance repair service space.
Right.
There's a lot of people who are focused on how can I review service history and get it into the point of sale software as effectively as possible. Some of the bigger things that we're doing is our integrations with companies like TechMetric and Shop, where we're pushing directly into their shop management software so that you can see all of our recommendations inside of their platform in addition to ours. And then we also have some pretty great connections in the industry with Carfax, having that integration there and getting service history across the board for a ton of shops in Carfax's huge network has been really helpful as well.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So what are the main benefits to the auto repair shop owner?
Probably the biggest thing is we're helping increase their maintenance sales. So we save a ton of time on researching vehicle service history. We found just by doing it manually in the shops we're working with that it can take sometimes 10 to 15 minutes per car just to actually do it correctly. And
Mhm.
that oftentimes leads those services to being forgotten. So people don't do it, they put it to the side, whatever it is, it just doesn't end up on a ticket. And so with our platform here, we're doing all of the work for the service advisor and making sure that customers are aware of what may be due for their vehicle in the near future. And by doing that, we're keeping the customers informed on what they need to do to take care of their vehicle. But more importantly, we're also taking care of our shops by saving them a ton of time and making sure the recommendations they make to their customers are accurate.
Right. So it's software to, just like we have AutoShop AMP, which is lead automation follow-up software. It's to save them time. So the service advisor, this is basically, you have software that's going to do the heavy lifting for them real quick, so they can spend more time selling services than doing analytics.
Exactly. Yeah. We want people to spend the time to get to know their customers, understand why they want to have services done on their vehicle, what they're looking to get out of their vehicle lifespan, right? Do they want to have this car forever? Is it something that they're not going to keep a long time? We want to help shops build that relationship with their customers. And we see this platform as a really good starting point for that.
That's awesome. So, and this all the idea between you and Josh came from selling the fans that would follow the mechanic around, huh?
Yeah.
That's quite
Yeah.
a change.
We've definitely pivoted throughout the years, just kind of taking feedback from our customers. And, we have a couple other people on the team as well, and some shop owners that we work really closely with. And just by working with them every single day, the shop we work the most with is probably Demore's Automotive, Jay Demore in Massachusetts. We do a ton of work with him. We meet with him every single week. He's been great just to have as a resource, and building in his shop has shown us a lot about where the product needs to go to really hit its stride.
Awesome. So you guys are constantly making improvements. So when people sign up with these like us, we're always constantly making improvements. So we just include that in our program to all of our clients. So I've got a list of questions here that
Sure.
I can ask an auto repair shop owner. Can you share your journey to success? What were milestones in your career? How do you develop shop culture? I mean, I got all that stuff going on, but what are some of the questions that I should be asking you, and that I could ask you think that would help provide good information to the auto repair shop owner while selling your service? Because I think we just said everything in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Other things that, maybe people are asking us is like, how does it work, right? Like, how are you doing this? Because they maybe have used other companies to review service history before.
Okay.
And, that's probably a big one. Outside of that, what's like your customer support like? What's your onboarding look like? Are you dumping the software on us, or are you actually working with us and trying to build this together?
All right. So John, go ahead and tell me, how does Detect Auto work? I mean, how does this software actually work?
Yeah, it's a good question. The way that our software works is we read through every single line for your customer service history, both in your shop management software and also inside of the Carfax service history. So we cross-reference those fields, and then we use an AI model that we've been developing to compare that service history to the maintenance intervals that your team has set up with our platform. So we can understand when the customers had differential services done, transmission flushes, oil change, tire rotations, filters, pretty much anything that you want to look for. We can add that into our maintenance interval management platform. And so by doing that, our software is reading and understanding what was completed. So for example, if you did some work on the radiator, but you didn't explicitly call out that the coolant fluid was exchanged, our software would still understand that the radiator was replaced, new coolant was added, we can reset that service interval. So we don't just go off of the mileage of the car. We go off of the service history of the car. So now you can start saying, well, this service should be done every 30,000 miles, but I had it completed for this customer at 45,000. We don't need to recommend it at 60,000 miles. We need to recommend it at 75,000. So we keep a pretty good track. We keep a very good record of what's been completed on that vehicle. And then we only recommend what's due for the customer at the time they're coming into your shop.
Okay, awesome. So what's your customer support like?
Yeah, we really care a lot about that. I think that's probably the thing that our team obsesses over the most. We want to make sure this is working for whoever's using it. So we make ourselves available literally 24/7 for better or for worse. But if you have a question, we want you to reach out to us. Josh and we do all of the onboarding and setup ourselves. So you're working directly with the founders to build this system out. We take all of your feedback really seriously and incorporate that into the platform as quickly as we possibly can build it out. So it's all a lot of hands-on onboarding, training, check-ins, and we are constantly looking for feedback on it as well.
Okay, so that brings me to another question. What is your onboarding like? I mean, because with us, when I tell my clients, look, you need to block 3 to 4 hours out for your onboarding, they're like, what? I'm like, what? There's a lot of information that we need, but once we get this over, then we get this information, then we can do our job. So what is your onboarding like?
Yeah, our onboarding process, we like to keep it kind of in two phases. One, we love working with the owners, getting them familiar with the platform, getting the maintenance intervals customized the way they want it, and making sure that they understand how the system works. And then number two, we try to set up individual meetings with all of the team members who are going to be using the platform at the end of the day. So whether the owner's a hands-on owner or a hands-off owner, we want to make sure that the service advisors and technicians who are actually using this platform on a daily basis understand what it can do and why they should be using it. So we schedule a bunch of meetings. They can range from, 15 to 30 minutes per employee to maybe 30 minutes to an hour for the owner. And we try to knock that out within the first week of you being on the platform. And I guess one thing I didn't mention too is that's really for using our web application where you visit our website. But we also have some automations that are pushing things automatically into your shop management software so that every time you log in, you can see our recommendations inside of there for your upcoming appointments if your customer previously had service history at your shop. So it's kind of a nice automation we've added to save your team a bunch of time reviewing appointments for the morning.
So if I'm a customer at a particular shop and I've deferred some maintenance or whatever, or before I come in, the service advisor is going to see all of this before I even get there?
Exactly. And it's not even just deferred services. It's also recommended or preventive maintenance as well that may have never even been presented in the first place.
Okay, so before the customer ever gets there, they've got a good comprehensive list.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So how do you guys approach competition in your industry? Do you see it as a threat or an opportunity?
I love it, honestly. Like I want more people building these solutions. I think it's really important to make sure that customers' vehicles are taken care of. And if you can help them doing that by having a well-established maintenance plan in your shop, I'm all for it. So I would prefer if we had safer cars on the road, right? So it's kind of a net benefit for everybody. So healthy competition is always good. I love what people are building. I think software and technology is fascinating, and I'm just excited to see what other people are going to start rolling out in this space.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of fascinated with AI and AI technology. They say it's going to replace up to 20% of jobs in the next decade. So I went through Seattle Airport, and when you're at an airport, there you always see people pushing people who have handicaps or whatever to their gates, right? Well, it's a robot,
right?
You just sit them down and push the button, take them to G25, and the thing just takes off.
Yeah, it's wild,
isn't it? Yeah. So that's the first place I've seen that. But anyway, so I would imagine that Detect Auto is using AI to help algorithms and programs, right?
Yep, we use AI to do a couple things. So the first one is more of a predictive system where we're using AI to understand what we call them vehicle attributes your customer's car may have when it shows up in the shop. So, for example, you can decode a lot of things from the VIN, but it's not always perfect. Like it tends to get four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive incorrect sometimes, depending on the VIN decoder you're using. And we've noticed that obviously that has a pretty direct correlation with services that you recommend for maintenance. So our system predicts what vehicle attributes are present. And then from there, we break that down onto a page next to our maintenance recommendations. So you can change if you're like, hey, you guys predicted that this was a four-wheel drive vehicle. It's actually all-wheel drive. We don't have a front differential. We don't have a transfer case or something along those lines. You can take those fields out, and then it simplifies the review process for our customers, because now they don't have to be like, oh, crap, all these recommendations were wrong. They just have to uncheck the boxes for what their technicians saw or didn't see, and it makes the updates for them. So that's kind of one area we're using AI is predictive systems. The other thing we're doing is a lot of language model processing. So kind of like what ChatGPT does, where you can chat with their AI chat agent and have a conversation. Our system is using AI to read service histories and understand what work has been completed. So we don't have to create a huge list of every single possible service name that may relate to one of your maintenance intervals. We use AI to just understand what was completed and see how that aligns with a maintenance interval in your shop.
Okay, that's awesome. So the bottom line is this is an investment for the shop owner to save time and sell more services and saving the customer money, because I understand there's like 60% of cars need some sort of maintenance out on the road, which that baffles me. When I heard that statistic, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, you kidding? So I'm like a real preventative maintenance hound. I fix things before I think they need to be fixed. So, but not everybody's like that. So this is how long would you say it would take the auto repair shop owner to see a return on their investment from this software?
Yeah. If you're talking about straight dollars and cents, our goal is to give them an ROI, hopefully within the first day. We've had a few customers sell an extra $1,000 of maintenance services on the first day of using our platform. Wow. So the benefits there pretty immediately, but the way we have it priced out, it's basically you need to sell one extra maintenance service to break even on it. And we help people do a lot more than that.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So I recommend AutoOps, a scheduling program for all of my clients. In fact, I just kind of require it that they do it. You know, it's Steve, I saw him at the ASTA. That was his creation and invention. So it pays for itself immediately, because there's a link in their Google Business profile to schedule the appointment. So that's awesome. So you can actually see a customer of yours can actually see a return on investment the day they start implementing it.
Yeah, and if they don't see it in the dollars and cents on the first day, they'd see it in the time saved by their service advisors or a parts manager or whoever's going through and auditing service history of vehicles. It saves a bunch of time there. Sure,
because if the service manager is looking at and trying to do this manually 5 times a day and it's taking them 15 minutes and it'll only take them
exactly.
I mean, boom, right? So then they got more time to talk to customers, answer phones, and do other more important income producing work, correct?
Yep, exactly.
So how long have you been in the auto repair industry altogether? How many years?
3 years now. I graduated. I went to college and I graduated in 2019, got a degree in mechanical engineering, but my background was a little more in robotics.
Oh, okay.
I was working in the medical device industry for 2 years and kind of saw more opportunity in this space. So I left, decided to kind of throw my name in the ring in the automotive space and tried to get about as hands-on as possible. So I love going to shops, learning how they're working and trying to immerse myself in it as much as possible.
Yeah, well, just being at the ASTA Expo, that says a lot too. So, you know, you want to get your name out in front of the potential customers. Just like me, that was my very first time there. So, and I'm definitely going back. So it was a really, really good trade show. Looking forward to it being in the actual convention center next year. So it's going to
Yeah,
give,
that'll be awesome.
yeah, going to give us a lot more space, and they can do a lot more with it. So, um, with 3 years, I'm not sure if you can answer this question, but what trends or developments do you see that are shaping the future of the industry?
I actually just had a really interesting conversation with one of our customers this morning about that.
Okay.
They are kind of rolling out some VIP service plans with their customers. So, maybe some rewards or retention strategies centered around that, but also you sign up for this subscription or agreement with your customer, and they basically get preferred service, a lot of extra functionality at your shop, discounts on things. And it was an interesting idea that had been presented to me there because it helps build a lot of customer loyalty with you. So I definitely see a lot of work kind of going around customer loyalty and retention on that front. And as things progress too, and software improves, I'm going to see a ton of efficiencies gain kind of in the day-to-day operations. There's even new AI software now that you can chat with, and it acts as like a backup service for your technicians. So they can ask questions instead of just looking it up in the labor guide. They can now ask questions about what services need to get completed. And I think that's going to be really cool as that continues to grow and expand its functionality. People are going to love that. It's going to be in a ton of different locations. And I think those have some great opportunities ahead of them as well.
Okay, awesome. So, so you're an entrepreneur just getting started. How many hours are you working a day?
Let's see. There's 24 hours.
Right.
I probably get on average, 4 to 6 hours of sleep a night.
Yeah.
So
So
not too bad, but
I always like asking the question, you got any advice for work-life integration or balance? But yeah, I'm not going to ask you that question right now because anytime you're in the first 3 to 5 years of any business, I'm sorry, if you're a new auto repair shop owner, just tell the family, sorry, it's going to suck the first 3 to 5 years, but I gotta,
yeah,
work at 12 to 14 hours
yeah.
or more. So
I definitely have a very very supportive partner. My fiance has been very supportive of this, so I appreciate her a lot because she definitely gets impacted by this the most, I think.
right. Yeah. Yeah. And congratulations on your nuptials. So
Thank you. Thank you.
I set a date.
Yeah, May of next year.
Okay, sweet. That's coming up pretty soon. And
Yeah, I know.
do you live in Fargo?
Yep, there right now. And then I kind of spend my time between Fargo, and then my fiance lives in Milwaukee, so I go between the
Oh my
two.
gosh! Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's yeah. Geez, wow. That's a kind of a distance.
Oh
I
yeah.
You're logging a few miles on Southwest or somebody.
Yep. A lot of time driving in the car. So I got a 2010 Honda Fit that I put. It's a very fuel efficient car. Put a lot of miles on it, and it does the trick.
That's a trick for you. Okay. Has do you has have you or your partner, do you guys have a mentor or a coach? Have you found a business coach yet? Are you working with anybody or?
Yeah, we have a few people that we work with. We actually went through when we first started, we signed up with like the SCORE mentorship program. So we had our mentor Bruce, who's been really helpful. We still meet with them once a week, or once a month, excuse me, just going over what's up with the business, what do you need help with. And then we went through Startup Accelerator in North Dakota as well, where they kind of took us to the next level of here's what you need to do. We went through one in Minneapolis, kind of get you primed for everything, teach you how to operate a business. That was called Beta, Minnesota, Beta MN. And then from there, we went to Generator in North Dakota. That was the group that we went through. So we did that program last year, helped us continue to refine some of our skills, and taught us a lot about how to really just obsess over your customers and build effective products for them.
Okay, great. Good. Yeah, all of the really successful shop owners, one of the first things they do is they get a coach.
Yep.
So, and any successful business, even me, I belong to a mastermind group. I got a coach and 249 other digital marketing agencies that we can reach out to with questions, and we all share data and research. So that's been real powerful for us. So maybe company culture,
Yep.
doesn't matter whether it's an auto repair shop, it's a digital marketing agency, or it's a software company like you. What are you? Company culture is really important. So you guys are kind of young. It's you and your partner and just a few employees. But are you working? What are you doing to develop company culture now?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of two aspects to that. It's company culture that our customers see, and then there's company culture internally. Internally, our team is really driven. I think it's probably the most dedicated group of people I've ever worked with. So we're hyper obsessed about how can we make sure that the values that we're building on, like number one, you have to care. You can't do this if you don't care. So we need people who care about the industry and want to make a difference, but also if we can do things that save people time, you have to remember that this is something that people are using every day, and your work's really impactful when you work here. So we try to find people who care. And also, we're a big believer in effort too, because effort's one of the things that if you don't have a lot of money or you don't have connections, effort gets you a lot further than a lot of people can recognize. It doesn't get you the whole way there, but it gets you pretty far. So we're big believers in if we don't have the money to make something happen, well, then we'll make it happen because we're going to work harder to make it happen. So I think that's been a really big thing that our team's been pushing the last couple months, and it's helped us quite a bit just get this product out to the first 30, 40 shops we've been in.
Right. Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, great. Well, listen, I really appreciate your time today. So everybody, it's detectauto.com. You can get in touch with Jon, Jon, at detectauto.com, or you can just give the company a ring at 763-267-9917 and check it out. A software program that can pay for itself the very first day is sounds pretty intriguing to me. And from what you said earlier, you're intensely working with each new customer, making sure that you dial it in to the best of your ability, and that's going to be, I think that's going to be the driving force for you guys really being a success in this industry.
Yeah, we hope so.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.